Hello everyone and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice and the face, Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
Yeah, sitting down in the hot seat today. Yeah, nice. And Mr. Kahai, the mysterious, the legend, Furrigan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
Still behind the camera. Doesn't want to. I was like, man, there's room right here, right in the middle. But no, maybe we'll just get a cardboard cutout of you or something and then just put it right there in the middle.
I think we should get a cardboard cutout of somebody else and just say that's me, right? But it's like they don't know what I actually look like.
Or just like cardboard cutout of you, but like cutting the head off and then just have like an avatar for like a face, you know, like Oda. Right? That's how Oda does, right? Yeah, still nerding out. Welcome everyone. This is where we answer any and all of your ukulele or non-ukulele related questions. Will you give us ukulele questions or life questions or financial questions? No, we don't. Just ukulele questions, hopefully ukulele questions. Whatever questions you guys want to ask us, you give us your Q's and we give you our O's, which are opinions, because, I don't know, you know what I mean? We don't claim to know everything, so we'll give you our opinions based on things that we've learned and things that we picked up along the way. Is that right, Kahai?
Yep.
So let's get started. So today we are going to be doing a Q&A. We'll be answering giving opinions to a question, and we'll be talking about stories of the road, right, Kahai?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
That's the title.
Yeah, the focus of the
it says it right there, I think, right? Mm-hmm. So here we go, Kahai. Oh, by the way, we're live. So if you guys want to ask us questions via the live chat, feel free to do so. You can say hi. You can say hi to the other people in the chat. They're super nice. So don't, just go say hello. Say hello. Make a friend. Make a 2 friends, 3 friends, perhaps, right, Kahai?
Yep.
How many friends have you made through the live chat?
I would say a couple, but I don't know if I can say that Devin is a friend. Maybe a frenemy, right? That Devin.
To frenemies. All right, so let's get started. Kahai, what's the question for today?
Yeah, so we wanted to challenge you to try and do this really quick because we want to get to the stories from the road. But we wanted to ask you, what do you think is the most common problem that people have with bending, and how would you fix it, like as quickly as you can?
Using more than one finger. So the main problem that people tend to do with bending is they just go ahead and go straight into bending. For example, using middle or ring finger, whatever finger that they're using to bend, and using just that to bend. So I'm going to address a couple of things, but the first one is definitely that. So for example, if I'm playing like 3, and then I'm gonna bend the 5, okay? So 3, then people tend to do this. I can't even do that. Like just using just the ring finger to bend up. I'll get that, but it's not stable. It's gonna go like it's gonna do that, okay? What you need to do is to use that ring finger, but support it with other fingers behind it. I personally like to use 2 or 3 fingers. So 2 fingers right here. What that does is it keeps it nice and stable. But you can use 3 fingers to do that.
Yeah. So for the audio listeners, you still have your ring finger on the 5 of the A string.
Yeah, middle finger on the 4 of the A string, pointer finger on the 3 in the A string, because 3 fingers are stronger than 1 finger. And I said the second problem that people do is they tend to keep their thumbs in the back only. The thumb in the back is not helping anybody. The thumb in the back is pushing the ukulele forward while you're trying to push the ukulele up with your ring finger. Those 2 fingers are clashing. So what you need to do, thumb hooking right at the top, take that thumb and kind of bend it like this, bend it from the knuckle, and hook it at the top of your fretboard, so that when you press up, you can kind of press down on the thumb. So you're doing this motion, you're kind of just making a fist, you're closing fist like this. So see how my thumb goes from up here and then it closes in. So it's really just me doing this motion, trying to close my fist. For those of you audio listeners out there, I'm closing my fist, thumb at the top, ring finger on the A string or E string or C string. C string you can kind of press down if you want to press down, like, because it's for me, my personal rule, bottom 2 strings I bend up and the upper 2 strings I bend down. But I mean, that's just the direction. The note is still gonna go higher, yeah? Mm-hmm. but I'm pressing down because there's just more room to go down, rather than if I'm playing that C, if I press up, I'm gonna go over the fretboards. So just to play it safe, I bend down, which gives me the same effect. Okay, so thumb at the top. Okay. Use more than one finger and have your thumb at the top. That is the most common issue. The more less common issue, and something that you can, because you can get the bends just doing those things. The one thing that you should add is the wave motion. You're kind of coming in, so you're using the fingertips of your fingers, and you're facing it this way, like facing towards you, the fingertips, and then you want to bend it so that it faces up. See how you're not seeing my nails, my fingernails, if you're looking directly towards my ukulele, and by the end of the bend, you see it kind of facing towards you like this. Okay, those are things that's going to help you do the bends for your ukulele. Yep. Yeah. That's speed run. Got it. World record.
Yep.
Did we make it, Kahai?
I was thinking about putting a timer on screen, but yeah, I think we did.
Any comments or anything, questions from the audience?
We do have some questions, but maybe we can like talk about the tour a little bit, and then we can get into the questions too.
Yes. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so last week we went on tour, I guess 2 weeks ago now, like a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
A week and a half ago we went on tour. We went on our Washington state tour. We did 3 different cities. We did Edmonds, we did Port Orchard, and we did Seattle. So we went to the Edmonds waterfront center, and then we did Oceana Ukuleles over in Port Orchard, and then we did the Live Aloha Festival over at the Seattle Center in Seattle. Amazing time. And before we even get to the stories, we just want to say thank you to all the people who showed up and shook our hand and showed us your ukulele, jammed along with us, stuck around for the concert or for the play along, not play along, but the workshops. Thank you so much for coming out. Some people, I had somebody Saturday for my workshop at Live Aloha that like brought his whole family. There's this lovely Filipino uncle that came from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he said Vancouver. Like drove his family up because he's a big fan. He might be watching right now because he says he watches the stream, or he watches the podcast. But him and his family like drove all the way down to Seattle from like Vancouver, Canada, to check out the festival. I don't know if he was there for the second day to watch a performance, but he was definitely there for the workshop, and I truly appreciate it. And I was like, how long is that drive? I forget what he said, but it's like more than 2-3 hours, 4 hours maybe. Like it's insane. I was like, that is because people from Kauai, we don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like
drive.
we can't fathom 4 hours of driving. And for us, 4 hours of driving is just around the island because you can't go through the island. So we go around the island.
Or the road doesn't connect all the way around.
Yeah, there's a big mountain. There's Mount Waialeale is right in the beginning, and there's no roads in between. You can't go through it. So for me, you can drive for 4 hours, right?
Yeah,
you can,
but you just be going back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth because you can't go all the way around.
From end to end of the island.
Because the Napali coast on the North Shore is, I guess, where it stops. Yeah, like the road stops right there at Ke'e, and then goes all the way around to what's that beach? Polehale, right? That's like right at the end of the road. It doesn't connect. So for us, like I can't fathom that. I can't fathom 4 hours because have you ever driven from Polehale to Ke'e? Do you know how long that is?
Yeah, I don't know.
What would you say?
Maybe a couple hours. Yeah.
I was being conservative at 3 hours, but maybe a couple hours. And that's for us like a long drive.
Yeah.
So 4 hours and then like, dragging your whole family out. Thank you so much. So make yourself known if you're in the chat right now. It's thank you so much.
Yeah. Also, we also had Rebecca, Rebecca
from Australia,
who was in town for a family thing, and she came out. So definitely that was like the longest
insane,
commute to
insane.
to our gig. So.
And then there's people who we saw multiple times, you know, of course, like a bunch of people from STRUM who came out to the Edmonds Waterfront Center show. And then they came out, of course, you know, at the Live Aloha because they had their booth and they were jamming underneath the tent and stuff. But people like Chris Lanzin, like he wasn't part of STRUM. I mean, I guess he jams with STRUM, but you know, he didn't have to be there, but he was there both days and he hung out afterwards. So lots and lots and lots of mahalo to all of you folks, especially the people who put it together. Chantel from STRUM, Cindy Kaeli from Live Aloha, and the whole
Zach
Live Aloha,
from...
you know, the whole Live Aloha crew, like they were really awesome. Zach from Oceana Ukuleles that put that together. And, you know, of course, our sponsors, Kristen and Joe Souza, they were, you know, like they took us out and just always supported us and stuff. So thank you to everybody for making all of that happen. And for those of you folks who went to the Edmonds Center, Kristen and Joe brought something small from Hawaii as a giveaway on that show. They gave away a Kaniho ukulele at that Edmonds Waterfront Center show. So you know what I mean, like somebody went in there, it's like, oh, just go watch Aldrine and Aaron and Kaniho play. They walked out with an ukulele. You just never know. Never know. Okay, so really, really, really awesome, and mahalo, and we love you folks. Thank you so much for coming out. All right, so with that said, we got some stories from the road. It was really fun. And first I want to say, like, it was Kaniho's first time to the mainland. To play music. But really, like, he doesn't go out much. Like, he'll go for like a weekend or something to Vegas or whatever, but like that's really it. Doesn't really see much stuff. So when when he came out with us, it reminded me of me back in like 2007 or 2008 when we first went out. Touring. Like, I remember when we first touring, like I saw like I've heard of like El Camino and whatever. We were in California and I took a picture of like the El Camino like Boulevard or whatever, whatever that sign was. I'm like, oh my God. And our rental car had the California license plate. So I was taking pictures of the license plate of the car, and then I saw my first squirrel and all that. And same thing with Kaniho. He was like, oh my God, I guess he saw a squirrel with you, right?
Yeah. We were sitting and it was like, oh, there's a squirrel.
What is, and there's like, we saw bunny. We saw like rabbit, because there's rabbits in at the Seattle Center, and they were like, they're in the field, and Kaniho was like, what is that? And I was like, that's like a rabbit, dude. He's like, what? They're just they're just hopping around, like doing the rabbit things.
They're
like,
really doing it.
Those things are rodents, man. Squirrels, and what was the other one? A raccoon.
Yeah.
And I found out I had something that I haven't seen before either. When Kaniho pointed out that there was an apple tree outside of Brad's house, who we stay. Oh, by the way, thanks to Brad for hosting us for Wednesday and Thursday. I have not seen an actual apple tree. I thought I've seen apple trees before, but like when I saw that apple tree with like the apples looked like they were like grapes, like huge grapes on that branch, and so I was like, what is this? And I don't know, like Brad's like, well, this is Washington, Washington apples is like a thing, Aldrine, and I'm just like, oh, I guess so. So I've never seen that, and I was kind of tripping out, and Kaniho, he went outside for a little bit, then went back inside. He's like, oh my God, is that an apple tree? I'm like, yeah, Dodoy, Rando, like it's an apple tree. Then I went outside and I tripped out. I'm like, whoa, because whenever you see pictures of apple trees, I always just thought that like, oh, like 1 or 2 apples in a branch and stuff. Like that looked like it was a whole bunch. Like it looked grapes. It looked like Hujanga's grapes. I was tripping out. But that's, you guys can see how country we are, like country bumpkins. So seeing these things,
we only know them from like the preschool coloring book where it's like one apple.
The giving tree, the giving tree. It was just like dots of apples in that tree, right? So it was, and and it was, and I thought it was cute that like Kaniho was asking for just like simple things like, oh, like I'd like some pancakes. Like, oh, let's take you to IHOP and stuff. Oh my gosh, IHOP.
We can do that?
Can just go to IHOP. Like,
I wish he was here.
Yeah, he could share some of it, because he has some stories too, I'm sure, from his perspective of like the whole thing. And I had a great time just watching him be like, be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about being in the mainland and playing music and stuff. stuff. So that was really fun to see. And I think people's response to him being on tour with us was really, really, really good. You know, like I think I did shine a huge spotlight on Kaniho, just so that like he feels welcome and that people would kind of flock to him and stuff. And it worked, and he had a great time. He was stoked. But let's get started with the more interesting stories. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first? My story is the old man and a dog, like, which doesn't really paint me in a great light. I kind of look like the bad guy in that story, so maybe we'll go with your story first, and then,
Or should we go with that one because it's like chronologically?
I guess so. Okay. We'll go with that one. So this one doesn't really. Oh, how's it, Tito boy? So this doesn't really paint me in the best light, but it was okay. It was for a reason. I'm gonna put my ukulele down here. So it was for a good reason, and I brought up Kaniho for the fact that I was gonna tell this story. So we were at Port Orchard, and already we had a show over in Edmonds, and that whole time I'm kind of like, when we did an arrangement of Toccata that he was kind of unsure about, because during Toccata at the end, I wanted him to play the melody line with me, and it's like not easy, like especially for a bass player. But I'm like, no, it's gonna sound so good once we get to the end, and we play together. People are gonna be like, people are gonna be super impressed, and then you're gonna do you're gonna do Your Man, and people are like, oh, like, that guy can sing and he can play bass. Like I really wanted to put a spotlight on him. I really wanted to make him feel good, So at that show, before the show, there was a guy. Oh, by the way, this is the story of the old man and the dog. Okay, so there was an old man who came down to that Port Orchard show, and he had a dog with him. Don't want to name the names. I don't want to name the man or the dog. The dog's anyway.
Well, and this is in Zach's backyard. So Zach from Oceana Ukuleles built a stage in his backyard to host concerts. And so it was a nice backyard concert. It was
a nice backyard concert. There was like chairs, there was like snacks and food and wine and stuff. Yeah. It was like an event, like for the Port Orchard people.
And so I mean, they didn't say that animals are welcome, but like because it was a backyard show, it seemed appropriate. Yeah. Like it was okay that there was a dog there.
And there was nobody said that animals weren't welcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was totally okay.
It seemed appropriate.
Yeah. So I guess it's pretty integral to the story. The dog has an Instagram. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say the dog's name or the Instagram name. So there's an old man and a dog, an Instagram dog. So the old man comes in. And I thought, because he goes in, I thought like he's one of Zach's friends or Zach, but nobody knew that guy.
Oh,
like nobody knew. I talked to Zach. I was like,
that.
So who's that guy? He's like, I don't know. I met him for the first time tonight. Yeah, Zach doesn't know him, and then nobody did.
So it's like a mysterious.
Yeah, well,
old man
the thing
and dog.
is, nobody that I talked to knew him. So maybe somebody did, but I didn't talk to him because I talked to Zach, I talked to his daughter Sequoia, and I talked to Melody.
Or maybe he heard of it from like whatever
or something.
From us.
Yeah. So anyway, so he comes in the show, and immediately he just like, this is my dog, blah blah, and he has an Instagram, like just full on this, and here's his adventures. You can follow his adventure.
Yeah. Granted, it was a cute dog.
It was a cute old man dog.
Yeah.
It's an old man and his old man dog. The dog. What kind of breed?
It's like a Jack Russell. I think.
Yeah. Tiny dog, kind of scruffy looking. Like cute dog. So not hating on dogs, by the way, guys. I don't hate animals. I love dogs. Had a bunch of dogs growing up. More of a cat person, but I had a bunch of dogs growing up. Just want to make that clear. Don't hate dogs at all. Okay. So, he just comes in, and he's got that kind of like I'm Instagram famous, and like that, or my dog's Instagram famous, and blah 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 blah, and and anyway, so the show starts, and like. That show, my banter was like on. Like,
I mean, the audience was great. That's why.
Well, I was telling my wife the reason for that was because I put my ukulele. There was like wall hangers on the stage. So I'm like, hey, I can just hang my ukulele on the wall, not knowing that my ukulele is from Hawaii. So this Pacific Northwest weather, it doesn't quite mesh together. So my ukulele was like off tune and whatever, and it was going through some changes because I just changed strings for the for the tour. and it was just exposed in cold weather. I shouldn't have put it on the wall. I should have kept it on me and just tuned it like throughout the whole thing. So by the time we went, it was nice and it was nice and stretched out. So the thing is, groovy girl was there. See, the person was there. So the first 3 or 4 songs, my ukulele was just off tune. It was just like, well, it wasn't like very badly off tune because I was trying to tune it throughout the whole thing, but it was pretty. And I guess your guitar too.
And my guitar too.
You left it.
I also hung my guitar.
So it was a combination of both our instruments off tune.
But trying to get it.
Kaniho's bass was in tune, but because he was in tune and we were off tune, nobody was in tune with each other. So I had to, and I was telling my wife this, that like I had to up my banter so that to get people to not pay attention to me tuning or to the off tuneness, because I feel like if I can make these people laugh and smile, they'll forgive me for my off tune ukulele. You know what I mean? Like that's why. And that first one, I was like really first 3 songs really trying super hard to like for good banter. And I'm picking on Kaniho because this is his first time. I'm like, hey guys, tell us if he does a good job, because his job depends on this. Like if he does a good job, then we'll keep him. And if he doesn't do a good job, I have his hotel key or whatever. I was just kind of joking around. I'm like, I have his room key, so if he doesn't do a good job, I also have his plane ticket going home. Let us know with claps if you guys think that Kaniho is doing good. So it's one of those things, like I'm trying to be the bad guy so that like it makes Kaniho look like the good guy. But it's all in play. It's all in fun. So it's trying to have
fun.
And
to get the audience on
Kaniho's side. Kaniho's side. And just to get the audience involved too. You know what I mean? Because it's like now their claps mean something. Because like if they clap, it's like, oh, it means that Kaniho did a good job. The harder they clap, then that means Kaniho did a good job. And he's doing great. That's actually, I think he said his, I think he said Seattle was his best show. But anyway, banter was on it, and like after that I didn't hit the brakes. Like I just went forward with the banter. The banter was just full, and the thing is, the more beast mode I am with banter, the sassier I get. And I was so sassy that night that like everything, I was just giving sass to everything.
But it's cool because that gives the people at the Port Orchard show a glimpse at what like our regular show is here. So sometimes you can get to that point, and especially because when we play here, it's like a restaurant crowd, and you're right there. The audience is right there. So it gives a glimpse of like, and I like small shows because of that. You know what I mean? Like when we were playing in Seattle at the Seattle Center, it was tough to make that connection. But but anyway, so we're playing, and we get to the song where we do a medley of 2 songs in B flat. It's Drift Away, and then we go into Purple Rain. Purple Rain being our like one of the bigger songs in our set. That's hard hitting song.
So like after Purple Rain, it's like that's the peak of the show. Then we have like 2 or 3 more songs, and Senor Victor being at the end, like to just kind of end it. So keep that in mind, because that's a big integral part of our show. When we're doing, so we do Drift Away, and we play the last chord of Drift Away. We give it a little time to breathe, and then we play go straight into Purple Rain. Okay, so when we did while we were doing Drift Away, this old man,
it was right at the very end.
Not yet. Not even. Like, almost there. And at the end, it was super noticeable because so this old man comes up, brings his dog on stage. There was a stage. If you guys look at our Instagram, you guys can see what the stage, what the setup looks like. This man brings his dog on stage, and you know what I mean? Like,
we can't compete with a
we can't compete
dog.
with a dog. I mean, it's just so distracting. And the thing is, like, everyone's sitting down, everyone's into it, like, and my banter beast mode is on. Music was on. People are digging it. People are liking it. We were on fire. And then the guy brings his dog on the stage, and I'm like, maybe he just wanted to take a quick picture and stuff.
I think so.
But So I was like, okay, fine.
But the dog was jumping on the stage.
Yes.
He was like.
So.
So.
Okay. So. The dog's on stage.
Right in front of me,
yeah,
actually.
And I'm like, okay, he's just gonna take a quick picture and then he's gonna go away. But he wanted like the dog to. He's telling the dog like, go close, go to the middle, and like really take a picture with the guys and stuff. So it wasn't enough that he took a picture with us, and it brought his dog up, but like he kept this dog there for a long time. Yeah. It was like a long time.
Yeah. And that would have been fine at the end of the show.
At the end of the show. At the end of the show would have been totally fine. Yeah. Okay. And people, Groovy Girl can probably attest to this. We met with every single person that was there who wanted to come up and say hello to us. Mm-hmm. We were there for like a good until everybody went home, right? Like it's not like okay, bye guys, and we dug out or anything. We stayed and we said hello to everybody. Now anyway, so we get to that part where we play the last chord to drift away. We're about to go to Purple Rain, and it's like. And because the dog is there and everyone's looking and focusing at the dog, the focal point of our show being that like drift away to Purple Rain. Transition. Totally ruined. It not only ruins it for us, but it ruins it for the people going to the concert, which I remind you folks, it was not a free concert. Yeah. It was a paid, and that's what I felt bad the most. Because it was a paid concert and this guy comes up and ruins a very focal part of the show.
Sort of an important transition.
Yes, transition. It's one of the best transitions that we have in the show. And I'm just kind of like, so the dog's there, and because if we play our last chord, about to go into Purple Rain, I'm like, I'm waiting for the dog to leave so I can get into Purple Rain. Dog is still there, and he's still taking pictures, and he's still like, no, go by them. He was like, go by the singer so that we can take a picture of you, like on stage with the guys. I'm just like, what the heck? And I'm like, I'm saying on the microphone, I'm like, I mean, excuse me, kind of an important part of the show right now. Still he wasn't like, oh, sorry, come here. He wasn't like, oh, my bad. Never said sorry, never said my bad or nothing like that. So he's just like still taking pictures, very like, yo, like I mean, it's kind of an important part of our show that we can't compete. And I'm trying to crack a joke. I'm like, I can't compete with cute animals, guys. Like, we're trying our best up here, and I'm trying to take it away, get it back, but. And I'm just like, what the heck is happening? And I'm just like talking to the audience. I'm like, because I guess talking to the guy is not working, So I'm like talking to the audience. I'm like, I mean, We'll stick around, everybody, if you guys want to take pictures and stuff. Like, we'll stick around. You guys don't have to come up during the show or anything. And people were laughing. People thought it was part of the show. People thought it was part of the show. And, he was just like, people thought it was part of the show because after the show, people were like, oh, that was pretty funny with the dog. I'm like, that was not part of the show. That was a super rude guy.
Which is okay because, the whole point of playing for people is to entertain them. So as long as they were entertained, that's fine. But sort of slow our thunder.
So, what do you call? So, I'm just like, so I finished I finished Purple Rain. So we still go through Purple Rain, and I'm just distracted, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, everybody. Like, that just kind of distracted me. I need to take 2 seconds to just kind of bring myself back because I'm in the zone. You know what I mean? Like, we talk about being in that state. What is it?
A flow
the flow state. I'm in the flow state. It was, if not the best show that we played on tour, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was the best show we played on tour. Yeah. And because of that connection with the audience being so close and stuff. And I just had to apologize to the people. I'm like, I'm so sorry. But now that the song is done, does anybody want to come up and take a photo? Because, well, maybe wait till after the song is done. Maybe you can come up and take a photo with us. Anybody? No? Nobody? Nobody wants to get up from their seats and go in front and take a photo right now? You guys want to wait till after? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. And then every song after that, I'm like, oh, does anybody want to take a photo? I'm just ragging on this guy. I'm just ragging on him. And then like talking about the old man, talking about the dog. And I'm just like, I forgot all the things that I said, but I was just ragging on the guy. Because I'm like, you're not gonna take the show away from me. Like, if you go and distract me and be, go and try to be part of the show, I'm gonna make you part of the show.
Yeah.
And if part of the show, I'm ragging on my teammate super hard, I'm gonna rag on you pretty hard.
Yeah.
So I'm ragging on this guy and talking about like, and I didn't even say anything bad. I was just like, after he took the pictures, after he finally left, I'm like, hey, I don't know, like, what kind of show he thought this was, but that wasn't very cool, man. I was like, that's not cool, man, and that was the only thing that I said that I thought was like, but that's not even that bad. I'm like, it's not cool, and it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't cool. So he the show's over, he comes up to me and he like confronts me mad. This old man is pissed. He's pissed off at me. He's like, hey, he said that I don't want to say any expletives, but in I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said that you should get that stick out of your butt, and you should be a little bit more. He said, like, don't be so uptight. I'm like, I'm uptight, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh my goodness, and I'm like, I don't think anybody else saw it that way. That I was, and he's like, oh, you're like, you're so uptight. People love it when blank goes up and I take pictures with the band and stuff. I'm like, sir, I have to remind you, people paid for this show, and I got serious with it. I'm like, people paid. It's a paid show. It's not a free show. Like, he's like, yeah, well, when we go up to bars and we take pictures of the band, I'm like, that's a bar. So like, it's fine. If we were playing in a bar and you came up to us like during the show, totally fine.
Yeah. Or even then, maybe after, please.
Yeah, no, but still, and people have done that. You know what I mean? People have gone up like during this show, like they were gonna leave or whatever, they wanted to take a picture, and we'll snap a quick photo, and then we're on with our way. Like we do that. And then he goes to accuse me that like, oh, if animals are not allowed here, just say so. I'm like, I didn't. Part of it. I was like, I didn't say that. Like, animals are fine, are welcome in the show, just not on stage. You know what I mean? And he's like, well, maybe you should say, before the show starts, that no animals on stage. I'm like, I didn't think you needed to say that. Like, I didn't think you need to tell people that animals can't be on stage during the performance. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't think that needed to be said. But I said, you know what? You're right. Because I'm like, I just need this to just go away. I just need this problem to go away. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Next time I see you at the show, I'm going to come up to you and I'm going to tell you straight up, like, hey, I'm sorry, but could you wait until after the show to take pictures? Because, like, it's kind of rude and distracting and rude to the people paying, It's like, that show was $30 to get into. It wasn't like a cheap show, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like a workshop and concert. It was just a concert. $30. Like, if and that's the thing, like, I'm super grateful to everybody who paid to be there, because I've seen my show. I don't know if I'd pay $30 to see my show. You know what I mean? Like, that's just so for people like for people to go and ruin that experience. And for people paying, like, that makes me very upset. You know what I mean? So he comes up, Groovy Girl, he scolded me. He scolded me about, like, you should say that if animals are not welcome on stage during the show. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, sir. In my 2 decades of playing music professionally, I did not know that was a rule that I had to tell people,
So just in case, for anybody who wasn't sure, if you're at a performance, probably don't go onto the stage unless the performer asks you to come onto the stage. Dog or human, or it doesn't matter really.
Or if like somebody's at your guys' show here on Kauai, and it's like you said, like they're gonna leave, right? So they want to take a quick picture with you. Like, wait for a break, right? Not wait for like in the middle of a song.
And it's possible that he thought that was the break, between songs, and
I would even. I don't know if it's because I know you guys too, though. But there's like points where you guys are just like, okay, this is obviously like we're not gonna talk right now. We're gonna tune our instruments before we get into like maybe that is when.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, that seems outrageous.
Yeah,
to me.
so I was ragging on it, but I wasn't saying anything that I didn't already say. I just kind of made the situation more noticeable by like, okay, anybody want to take a picture? Because any other dogs want to go out, want to come up and take a picture. Now would be the time. We're letting you guys take pictures. I was just doing that. I was just ragging on him in that way, like where I was ragging on Kaniho, but it wasn't like I was insulting him or anything. It was like more just to bring more attention to Kaniho. Mm-hmm. So I was just bringing more attention to this old man and his dog because he clearly wanted the attention. You know what I mean? Like
so that's why like if you want to be part of the show, then
you're part of the show. But then if you're part of the show, you better take it. You know what I mean? Like because sometimes Aldrine is not not so nice. Aldrine is like is
the character,
a little bit the on-stage character Aldrine Guerrero sometimes a little bit sassy. You know what I mean? Like it's if you get in the way or if you want to be part of the show and you get caught in the sass, don't complain about getting sassed. You know what I mean? Because but I mean, Groovy Girl, I was venting, but I was more doing it in that playful way. I wasn't saying anything like Just everyone, look at that guy. No, I wasn't like, everyone, look at him right now. Everyone pay attention to that old man who just interrupted your show that you paid for. No, I didn't say that. I was just like, does anybody else want to come up and interrupt the show? So, it was just kind of like, what is there like a Washington, like I didn't know because I'm the tourist there, you know what I mean, like maybe that is a rule that you gotta say, but I thought it was pretty universal to not like I don't know, like brew in a show or like go on stage when people are performing try
to steal the thunder.
And it's like I mean, yesterday we played at the mall for like a Maui relief thing, and my daughter, like I kept scolding her because she kept like wanting to dance with the hula dancers because the middle school, you were there, right? She wanted to copy. I'm like, okay, don't cross this line because you don't want to bother, you don't want to distract them, you want to bother
on
them.
The stage.
And I'm just like, Ellie, come here. Like when she's getting closer, I'm just like, I had to put on like my dad hat. I'm like, come here, Ellie, stop. Stop, come here, But but that's it. You got mad at me, yelled at me for like for not wanting the people who paid to come see the show be distracted or like like it wasn't part of the show. So people were there, wasn't part of the show. I was just ragging on him because he decided to be part of the show. So I made him part of the show, and you're gonna get some sass, So
be prepared.
Be prepared. So if you're gonna come out to our show, please don't do that. Like it's super rude. Okay, it's super rude. Like if we were like. If we weren't like D-list celebrities, F-list celebrities, Z-list celebrities, like your dog would have probably been tackled by like some guy. You know what I mean? Like if like God forbid you do like a Taylor Swift concert, like I don't know if you'll see your dog again, dude.
Escorted out
of the building. I think maybe you should have. I'm not gonna hit the dog, guys. Come on, like I love, just like I said, I love animals, love dogs, love cats, love just red pandas are my favorite animal. You know what I mean? Like it's it just please don't. Like if you're going to a show, not even just ours, just if you're going to a show, like just please be respectful. Be respectful of the musicians or the performer's space, which is the stage. And like wait for a good opportunity to take photos because it's not like
we love doing that.
We love doing that. And the things we already took photos with the dog before the show, but the dog just wanted to take photos on stage. It wasn't enough that he took photos with us because we did tons and with all the performers that night because there's a couple of people who opened up for us. The dog took photos with everybody, but still. That is my story of the old man and the dog. Now, that night, so now that my story is over, that night we drove from Port Orchard back to Seattle, to the Seattle Center, and we stayed over at the Maxwell Hotel. Take it away.
Yeah, so that drive is maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah. It was about an hour and a half without traffic. But so we weren't sure when that Port Orchard show was going to be done. And so, I guess the organizers of the festival, of the Live Aloha Festival, said that because we weren't sure when we were gonna come in, they said like, hey, if you guys come in late, maybe we'll check in for you to make sure that you get a room at the hotel, because they had done all of that, the booking for the hotel. And so we get back, but it's not that late, right? We get back maybe 11:30. Yeah, something like that. And so Aldrine goes in and he gives the front desk his ID. Yeah. He gets his room. Yeah. And so Aldrine has a room by himself. And then Kaniho gives his ID, but the guy looks it up and he can't really find the reservation under Kaniho's name. Yeah. And so I give my ID, and there was some confusion there. So I pulled up the confirmation number because I got that on my email, and I gave him the confirmation number. And so the front desk guy is looking up that information, and he said, "Oh, it's kind of weird. It looks like you guys are checked in already." And so I was like, "Oh, well,
that makes sense."
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Maybe Auntie Cindy checked us in already. Yeah. And so he goes ahead and issues our keys. We're on floor number 2, and Aldrine is on floor number 3.
Yes.
So we go into the elevator together, and we get off at floor number 2 and just tell Aldrine, hey, we'll meet up with you later.
Yeah.
Because
tired. We're just gonna sleep.
Yeah.
No, did we want to get something to eat?
Maybe. Yeah. We're like, I'm not sure if we could grab something to eat, but we're just gonna get our stuff in the room first. So Kaniho uses his key to get into our room. And then he goes in, and I'm grabbing my stuff to go in, and he's like, hey, wait, there's stuff in here. And so like I get like halfway in the door and just kind of peek, and he's like, yeah, look, there's like bags, there's stuff on the bed, there's like shoes on the floor. And so it's like, okay, there's obviously someone staying in this room. So we call up Aldrine and say like, hey, can you talk to call up Auntie Cindy and see like there's somebody staying in our room. There might be, because she mentioned that there was some confusion
with other stuff,
with the booking of some, because there were so many people staying for that festival at the hotel,
and everyone's staying at the same hotel.
At least all of the performers anyway.
I tried to contact her, but she wouldn't answer. You guys came up to my room to just drop your stuff off at my room.
So we're hanging out at Aldrine's room. Auntie Cindy calls him back or texts back and says, just meet downstairs. So we leave all of our stuff at Aldrine's room, and we head downstairs. And she meets up with us, and she's talking to the front desk guy and
yelling at the front desk guy. Basically yelling at the front desk guy.
Because there were so many rooms that she had booked.
There's already problems.
She's paying a lot of money to the hotel.
That's true.
And so, she expects that everybody gets a proper room. And so he's looking through the thing. He's like really confused. Like, I don't know why this is happening, and so he's getting kind of nervous, and it's like, okay. And he was saying like, there's no other room in the hotel that has 2 beds. So he was, but Auntie Cindy is like, well, me and Uncle Kalani have a bedroom with 2 beds in it, so just give us like one of the ones with 1 bedroom, 1 bed in it, and then they can have ours. And he's like, I'll take a look and see. And so he looks in the computer, and then next thing you know, he issues us new keys, and he said that the only other room in the entire hotel that had 2 beds in it was a suite. So we get upgraded to a suite.
Nice.
And it's on the same floor as Aldrine. Floor number 3.
And it was nice, like outside your window is like the Seattle Needle, like the Space Needle.
The Space Needle.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Couches.
So we had a couch. We had an extra space for a couch. You open the window, and it's like a straight shot to the Space Needle. And so like we're cruising in there. It was nice. And so everything went well that night. I think we went and picked up pizza, and then hung out in that room because it was the bigger room.
Yeah, the bigger room.
And played some music and just chilled out. And so we figured everything is good. So the next morning, Aldrine has to go and do his workshop
at like 9 in the morning.
In the morning, and I have to go return our rental car because we don't really need it for those last 2 days. We're just staying. The hotel is really close to the Seattle center,
so and a bunch of stuff around it.
We were just walking. So I figured I'll just return the rental car. So Kaniho goes with me. we go return the rental car and take the shuttle back to the hotel. And we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do that day. Kaniho really wanted to go up in the Space Needle.
Yeah.
And so we're saying like, oh, maybe we'll swing by the Seattle Center, see what you're up to, if you're, you know, if you need anything. And then he wanted to see the venue as well, to see where we're gonna be playing the next day. And before we leave to go to the Seattle Center, I get a text on my phone, and it's the front desk. It's like, hey, this is the front desk. Next time that you're in the lobby, just swing by the front desk. We have like just a couple questions about the room. And I'm assuming it's like, oh, they probably like, somebody was like, oh yeah, I had to upgrade them to a suite. So
someone was not happy.
So we figured it was that. So like, we just swing by the front desk. On the way out, we're gonna go see what Aldrine was up to. And so I stop by the front desk and I just say like, hey, I'm Aaron Nakamura. I'm in room 3, whatever, the new room now. I got a text on my phone. Do you guys need anything? And so he was saying, oh yeah, like, so what happened last night? And so we're just telling them like, we went up to that room and there was obviously somebody else's stuff there.
Yeah. And you gave him your ID and the confirmation.
Yeah, and the confirmation. Yeah. So yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, that's it's really strange because like we what we did was we canceled the cards so that like, you know, whoever is staying in that room has to, if they have to go back in, they have to stop by the front desk. But so we went up there to see like maybe we could look at the stuff and identify from that like whose bags those things were.
There we go.
And he says that it was weird because when we went up there and looked at the bags, the bag had your name on it. My name, Aaron Nakamura.
Aaron Nakamura.
Yeah.
So those bags belong to Aaron Nakamura.
and so I'm like, what? and so we're joking with the front desk, like, is this like a new thing, like a whodunit, like that the hotel is staging, like like an escape room kind of thing, like an activity that you can do. And so they're like, I don't believe them. And so I asked the guy like, can we see? And he was like, yeah, sure. He has like that universal key fob that, you know, that opens all of the rooms. So he's like, yeah, come. And then so we're going up the elevator and he's like joking around. And it's like, it's almost like a ghost hunt. Like, you know, I feel like it's a ghost, like, you know, ghost hunters.
You're like, no, what?
Yeah. So we get to the second floor and I am like shaking almost.
Yeah. Because maybe you thought like maybe they went into your room and looked at the bags.
No, but they said they said like, but you guys didn't have any of your bags forwarded to the hotel. Maybe like we got it and we put it in the room or something like that. He was just wanted to make sure that that's not your bag, right? And so he was happy to let us in the room.
Right.
And so we go into the room and then the front desk guy goes in first and he's like, look at this bag, and he flips the thing over. And so like I'm like shaking, like going into this room. And then I look at the bag itself and it has, you know, like one of those bag tags from the airlines.
Yeah.
So like if you check in your bag, they print out that sticky tag and loop it onto your bag. So it's one of those luggage bag tags from the airport. And so like I flip it over and it says my name on it.
Aaron Nakamura.
It actually said like Nakamura /AARO, because like, you know how it gets cut off. Yeah, but that's like obviously me. You know? And the thing is that we didn't check any of our bags.
So like, it was all carry-ons.
Yeah, we only brought carry-ons, like our instruments and like a duffel or whatever.
5-day bag.
Yeah, so it's like I didn't bring any luggage. That's not my luggage. And the luggage was open. Whatever, Aaron Nakamura's luggage was open, and it's like, that's not my clothes. That's not my shoes on the ground. You know, and so so we don't even know what to do. We just go back down to the lobby, and then I just like hang out there, and he's putting in like, you know, like the hotel eventually had a log of like this entire incident, like what happened on that Wednesday night, what happened, and like who so they were keeping a running log of the Aaron Nakamura incident.
I'm glad you said that. I was thinking, like, how am I gonna title this podcast without giving away the twist, right?
So
I'm gonna
the Aaron Nakamura incident.
because I was thinking of it's the tale of the two Aarons.
So,
but it's like
spoilers.
So,
well, I think
So like we just kind of shrug it off, and I just told them like I'll go and check in with you guys periodically and see, like, I really want to know what this whole thing is. And then I don't know how spiritual we want to get with this. It was definitely a spiritual journey for me over the next couple of days. This was like one of the greatest like Hawaiian culture festivals. Probably in the world.
In the world.
And so I met a bunch of people. I told a bunch of people about this story, like what is going on. And if anybody is interested and they want to know, they can email me or they can reach out to me, and I'll explain. But like, over the next couple of days, we have a blast. We have like a great time. Our show, we were slated for. So that was Saturday. Workshop day.
But that's when we went to pizza.
What? Oh,
Saturday
is that
when it? Pizza day.
So we did. Aldrine did his workshops on Saturday, and I think we end up going up in the Space Needle.
While you guys went to the Space Needle, I did my second workshop, and then I went back to the hotel and I took a nap because I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? So I took a nap, and then after the nap, like, I guess you guys were just hanging out downstairs or something.
And like timing was just perfect. So I find Kaniho and he's with Uncle Kalani. I go up to them and he was like, "Hey, guess what Uncle Kalani just gave me? Is 2 tickets to the Space Needle." Because Kaniho was like, "Hey, I really want to go. I'll buy your ticket if you wanna go up with me." So we were talking about
$30, right?
Something like that. So we were talking about it earlier, and just so happened that when I found Kaniho, he was with Uncle Kalani, and he had. So we went with them and some of the other performers up into the Space Needle. It was amazing because you can see like the entire city from there.
It's a big NO for me, sir.
And I hadn't done it last year because Aldrine.
I'm scared of heights.
Does not do heights. So
I'm scared of heights.
So but we had a blast. And then on Sunday we had our performance during the day. It was at like 12:45 or something. And that went well. Everything went well. And so so Aldrine does his whole thing, and we play our show. And so later that night, after the festival is over, we're helping clean up. Uncle Joe and Auntie Kristen, they had a booth for Kanilea at the festival, so we were helping clean up. And then we met them at the hotel afterwards. And we went and had dinner with them. So they treated us to dinner.
It's a sushi restaurant.
It was a great dinner. But usually after the festival, that night, all of the performers usually gather in the lobby and hang out and play music and talk story.
So like we're talking 3 in the morning. Like 3 in the morning. And it's just like some of the best voices from Hawaii. Not us. Uhene, Vehile, like she won like 3 Hokus this year. We're talking like top musicians from Hawaii that was at this festival, just at the lobby singing. It was awesome.
So amazing time. We did it last year and it was amazing. And so this year we already knew that was going to happen. So we got back from dinner and we dropped our stuff off in the rooms and we came back down just to hang out with everybody and jam and play some music. And so Aldrine is doing that thing, you were singing, I think, and I was just coming in and just doing a little bit of harmonies on the side, but I was really just trying to soak it in because some amazing voices and performers, and it was just getting started too. So we're hanging out there, and then I turn around and I see that Uncle Joe is on like one of the side tables, and he had mentioned to us during dinner that they picked up some whiskey from the area.
Yeah.
Some Seattle whiskey. I forget what brand it was. Copperworks?
Something like that.
Something
we went to the store to go pick up some, right?
Oh, well, I didn't.
No, I know. Well,
they
picked some up. And then we went to the store to pick up more whiskey to bring.
Yeah. No, but they had their Seattle whiskey there. That's right. And so I was like, hey, Uncle Joe, I just want to smell it. You know, I just want to see, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so I sit down with Uncle Joe. He has his bottle of whiskey, and then he was like, hey, just try it. So he gives me like a cup. I poured just a little bit just to get the taste. And I was like telling him like, oh, this is what I taste and stuff. And then just then, the guy that's right next to, like, not part of our group, sitting right next to me, turns and he says, hey, are you Aaron Nakamura? And I was like, yeah. And he says, me too. So, yeah. And so, like, my eyes get huge, and I stand up and I give him a handshake and I give him a huge hug, and I tell him, like, we have been trying to figure out this mystery all weekend, this whole time. So I go, like, you know, he didn't realize, like, that this was the Aaron Nakamura incident, that there was a record at the front desk. So I, like, bring him, like, come here. Like, I introduce him to the lady that I was checking in with at the front desk over the course of the past couple of days. And, like, here he is. It's like, this is Aaron Nakamura. Yeah.
Aaron Nakamura.
Yeah. And so she's smiling and everything. And then I found Kaniho was outside. So I run and grab him, and it's like, we found him. And Kaniho is like, what? Like, you know, because he was talking with somebody. He was like, hold on, I gotta go, like, you know, gotta go meet this guy. So he comes in, and then I introduce, and I don't really know, like, who he is either. And so apparently he was there with, I don't know if it was his cousin or his friend, who had a booth on the inside. So, like, there are two stages at the Seattle Live Aloha Festival. One stage is inside the armory, the
Kanilea stage.
Kanilea stage was indoors. There's also an outside stage.
The Alaska mural stage.
Yeah. And so we were playing on the inside stage, and there are vendors outside and inside. But he was helping his friend or cousin that that had a booth on the inside. And so while we were playing on the inside stage, they were there listening. And Aldrine had introduced me as Aaron, the voice Nakamura, on stage. And so he sort of did a double take and said, he was like, he said, like, do you know how everybody just, like, Googles their own name? He was like, I looked out at the stage and I recognized you because, like, I had seen your picture before. But from, like, Googling my own name. And it's like, hey, there's an Aaron Nakamura that plays guitar with an ukulele player. And so that's how he knew that I was Aaron Nakamura. But we, like, when we were talking, we were laughing about it, like, how, you know, what a coincidence that we have two Aaron Nakamuras in the same hotel, you know. And then and so his friends that were there with him were saying, like, but, like, what island are you from? And I said, Kauai. And they looked at each other, and so apparently he's from Kauai too.
He's also from Kauai.
So two Aaron Nakamuras, both from Kauai. And so, like, we're
and you tell him the story.
So I tell him the whole story about, like, you know, we went into their room, and because we had been telling people about that story, like we went into a room and there was stuff in the room. So they had heard that from other people in the festival. And they were like, we heard that story, but we didn't know it was our room, you know? And so we said that, like, we went up the next morning, we went up and we looked inside and we saw the bag tag that said Aaron Nakamura, and we were, like, really freaked out. And then he tells me, like, oh, they must have, or he was telling his friends, like, they must have went into our room when I was out for my run. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Aaron Nakamura is a runner. He's a marathon runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've like roomed with Aaron for when we were like out on tour, and I'll be like, where did Aaron go? And it's because he goes out to run.
Yeah,
run.
Yeah. Like, and so and he was wearing basically my glasses.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I took a picture of both of you.
Yeah, I have a picture too. So yeah, it was amazing. And then I didn't think about it at the time, but as the story unfolded, I realized because the week before was the Kauai marathon.
Yeah.
And I had friends who ran that, and so I was looking up their times, which is logged with this website called Athlinks. So Athlinks, usually all registered races get recorded with your Athlinks profile. So if you're a runner, you can look at all the times that you've done other races, and they'll keep track of that. And so because I was looking up my friends' times, I logged into my Athlinks account, and then that automatically pops up like, hey, here are some races that you can claim. And so there were a bunch of races that I noticed that had Aaron Nakamura, age 33, and it's like, oh, that's obviously not me, and I didn't run any of these races, but hey, this guy has been running a bunch of races, and he has a pretty good time, you know? And then my girlfriend, because I said that, my girlfriend was looking up on Facebook, and then she pulled up just the first Aaron Nakamura on Facebook that showed up, and she was like, I wonder if this is the guy. I think it's about the same.
That?
and that was the guy.
That was the Aaron Nakamura.
So 1 week to the day before we found out that he was the one, me and my girlfriend had looked up his profiles on Facebook and Athlinks.
Yeah.
And that was the guy. So yeah.
It's also amazing too, right? Because it's not like he lives in Seattle or he lives on Kauai anymore.
Yeah. He doesn't even live on Kauai anymore, I think.
So he had to come from out of state. Both of you guys came out of state to Seattle.
Ended up in Seattle for the same festival. Stayed at the same hotel, and then ended up in the same room.
So probably what happened then is maybe he went to go check in. Maybe he's like, oh, I'm with these people. It's like, well, what's your name? It's like, oh, Aaron Nakamura.
Yeah.
And then they looked up they looked up his name, and they're like, oh, you actually have a room.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened.
Probably
that's
probably what happened.
Have a room, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably maybe hotels will run into Steve Smith or Bob, whatever, right?
That's
but
normal,
Aaron Nakamura is I think people in the mainland are probably like, how rare is it or how
Nakamura is
often?
actually a pretty
it's a common
Japanese name. Yeah.
Over here, I think it's okay, but it's we won't get two of these, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually the hotel's fault for not asking that Aaron Nakamura for name, the ID and the confirmation number. They probably just because they didn't ask for my confirmation number. They just asked for my ID. I gave him my ID, and then and I got my room. So that guy probably just
did the same
thing. Showed his ID, pulled up your room.
And then he got my room. Yeah. So because my confirmation number was linked to that room.
Yeah. So he got a free room then.
And we got a free suite.
And you got a free suite. Or I hope it's free. You know what I mean? Oh man.
So
a tale of two Aarons. They call it the tale of two Aarons.
The Aaron Nakamura incident.
Yeah. But for the thumbnail, we're gonna put the Aaron Nakamura incident. The old man and the dog, and the Aaron Nakamura incident. My gosh. And it was just a lot of spiritual stuff that was happening. If you guys want to know,
pretty
email
amazing.
Aaron. He'll dive deeper into that spiritual side of the story. But it's amazing. I mean, that festival itself, we didn't oversell it. When we were trying to get people to come out to the show, we were like, this is the best Hawaiian cultural festival we've ever been to. And we're from Hawaii. And it stays true. We've been to a lot of ukulele festivals. We've been to a lot of festivals all around the world. But I think that one has just the Hawaiian energy.
Yeah, to it. Something really special about that festival.
So if you guys, even though if you guys don't live in Washington or in the Seattle area and stuff, if you guys ever want to experience a Hawaiian cultural event, that's the one to go to. I mean, it's wall to wall Hawaiians. I think every single Hawaiian in the state of Washington was there, and it was the energy was just amazing, and the Hawaiian music. very, very, very prevalent. Everyone was having a good time. It was awesome. We loved it. We loved being there. We'll confirm for next year. So we'll be there again next year. So plan it out.
You know what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna go, and then the guys at the hotel's like, oh, okay, we have 2 Aaron Nakamuras, like, so.
Well, what is your confirmation number?
Yeah. Or they're gonna go like, okay, so you go to this room, and then there's another Aaron Nakamura here, and then there's gonna be 3 of you that year.
I wonder if he had a Spider-Man meme, like.
Yeah, I wonder if he had a room, or if he was staying with somebody and he got a room.
I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder. We should have him on our podcast.
Yeah,
we should contact Aaron Nakamura and ask him his side of the story. You know? But yeah, it was really good. We're confirmed for next year. If anyone wants to know, it's September 8th. That's the September 7th and September 8th. September 7th is a workshop. September 8th is the actual festival. So
2024.
Come out. The 3 of us. Kaniho is also confirmed to go to that too. They want all 3 of us to be back there again. So
and it was nice to play with him.
Just it was a different sound. I mean, you and I have been playing since 2010. We've been touring since then. I mean, the first year you played with me, we're already you hit the ground running when you I think the first one was NAM, right? The NAM 2010 NAM was the first time we played together on tour, and we've been playing together since. So it was nice that after 13 years, we figured out our set. Throughout those 13 years, we figured out the sound that we want, the songs that we want to play, and the vibe that we want to give to the audience. And having a third person there, I was a little, I knew he was going to fit, but I would be lying if I didn't say I was in a little bit skeptical, because it's a completely new energy, to what we've already kind of established in 13 years. But no, he especially for that festival, he fit like a glove, and I think he caught the vibe that we're trying to give, because Kaniho, don't let the tattoos fool you. He's a very sweet guy. He's super nice, very kind, and I've known him since high school, and it's kind of funny because I've seen my growth just from watching Kaniho. Because looking at Kaniho reminds me of 2008 Aldrine, you know what I mean? And now 2023 Aldrine is looking at at Kaniho going. I'm like, oh yeah, look how far I've grown, look how far I've gone. You know what I mean? And it was really nice because I don't know, I want to say jaded, but after a while, you go and you start touring and stuff, and I start thinking about the things oh man, I'm gonna get tired, or it's gonna be kind of a blitz, and we're just gonna play all these shows. People are awesome, and I think the shows are gonna be good, but we gotta get back to work, we gotta do all this stuff. But doing that one gave me the vibes of 2008, 2009, when me, you, and Ryan were touring. That gave me the trio vibes again, which is really, really, really great. And I loved it. So next year, guys, September 8th, September 7th, we're telling you right now, some of the, if not the best tour that we've done in the past 5 or so years, seriously, one of the best tours, if not the best tour that we've done lately. Loved it. Thank you so much once again to all the people who came out. We owe you guys one, because seriously, without you guys showing up, we would have just played to empty tables, empty chairs and stuff. And Zach, I remember he was saying at the end of the night, it's we were kind of thinking is this worth it? But then once you guys started playing, once people started enjoying themselves, it's worth it. So we appreciate the fact that Zach's whew, it's worth it. Because if you guys didn't show up, if you guys didn't didn't buy tickets, if you guys didn't do all that stuff, then Zach would have probably been this was a mistake.
And definitely if you're in that area, or if you like the Oceana ukuleles, go check out their Instagram, place an order with them, because he does everything by hand. No CNC, no laser. He does everything by hand, and
some interesting stuff too, features as well.
The fact that he's still doing it is just because there are people ukulele players like you out there who really want quality handmade instruments. Even if it's not from Hawaii, he has he puts his own special touches on it, on his instruments, that make them incredible.
Very unique.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the few where like he does scalloped fretboards by hand.
Yeah.
You know?
It's insane. And same thing, like Kaniho's first time, like him actually trying out a scalloped instrument. He's like,
I mean, that's not standard on his instruments, but that's an available option.
Yeah.
And Zach, we've known him since what, like 2009?
Like Cerritos, he said.
Something like that.
2009.
Yeah, and the fact that he's still doing it is it's a pretty amazing. So yeah.
But yeah, everyone, thank you everybody. And like of course STRUM, STRUM was awesome. Like STRUM is Seattle's totally relaxed ukulele musicians, led by Chantel and
Uncle Rod.
and Uncle Rod. Uncle Rod, UU's very own.
One of the OGs.
Uncle Rod. And Chantel was she spearheaded the whole thing, and she's like, I'm gonna go contact Brad, and you guys can see at Brad's house. I'm gonna contact Zach from like Oceana. You guys can play over there. So Chantel's the one who set this whole tour up. But it was thanks to Auntie Cindy who brought us up. We could kind of go do the tour. So it was I had like lots and lots of phone calls that I made to make this happen, but really like I did not that much work compared to like what Chantel and Cindy did. And you guys are the real heroes, so mahalo. If you guys know Chantel, if you guys have been to the Seattle area, please give her our regards, tell her thank you. I mean, we've told her countless times thank you, but it would mean a lot coming from the people who came to the shows, because really that's her brainchild. Like that was all her ideas to go hit up those places. And also, if you guys know Auntie Cindy or Uncle Kalani, the Kahai, make sure to thank them as well. Or if you guys have been attending that festival at all, because they've been, I think maybe 15 years, been a long time for that festival, right? So if you guys ever attended that festival at all, know that like the people behind it are like real Hawaiians that want to perpetuate the culture, and real Hawaiians that want to show people like us who are here on the islands that just because they're there in Seattle doesn't mean like you cannot be Kanaka, or you cannot like have the same values and same culture and the same kind of impact up there, and they're really proving that you cannot perpetuate the culture even from like thousands of miles away. Really, 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 really great job. If you guys are interested at all, check out their website. And I believe it's like Seattle Live Aloha Ukulele Festival. Something we'll link it somewhere, right, Kahai?
Live Aloha Festival.
Yeah, Live Aloha Festival. That's it.
.com, I think.
Yeah. So make sure you check them out. They're doing some great stuff and support. Okay. Anything else that we gotta address?
Nope. I think
all our things are done.
We had questions in the chat, but
that's right. Yeah, no, you wanna answer some questions?
These are like people are asking for recommendations, so maybe we can give recommendations, but we'll do it quick where it's like don't need to. Yeah.
Speed round.
So I know Andre first was asking for a loop pedal recommendation.
I use a Boss. I believe the RC, or I forgot. I don't know what the name is, but it's the one with the two.
They don't make it anymore either.
They don't make that?
There's like a upgraded version.
I think it's like RC20 or 30 or something like that, but that's the one that I used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a new version now.
But I think any the modern day like loop pedal should be okay. You don't have to get that specific one, but I like that one a lot.
And Boss does a good job with loopers.
I like pedals from Boss in general. They're sturdy. They're solid. They're like industry standard.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
What else?
And then I know. Okay, so DJ Mark says, I'm looking to buy a new ukulele. What are your recommendations? I bought a cheaper one to start off with, but I definitely love playing, so I'm looking to upgrade. And then I asked him if he has a budget in mind. He said probably $100.
$100. I believe we sell Islanders here at the shop.ukuleleunderground.com. You could probably get. I mean, we talk about finding the ukulele for you and finding a reasonable budget. If you already have an ukulele, that you play with, that middle of the road, I guess, like intermediate ukulele what I would do is instead of spending that $100, just save up a little bit. Just keep playing that beginner ukulele that you're playing. Save up a little bit more so you can buy yourself something nice. Because by saving that $100 and putting maybe 100 more will give you a huge upgrade. By getting like 300, big upgrade, on top of that. So just save as much as you can. Don't reach the threshold of 100 and then immediately like spend the money. Like I feel that save it. That my best advice is to save it and come up with maybe $300 to $500 to get something really, really, really nice.
Or even $250.
Yeah, for $250.
Yeah,
like, sure.
But yeah, the difference in quality between like a 35 to 100. There's not really that big of a difference,
so
I guess.
I would, I would save up maybe $250 to $500. Like, I mean, if whatever you can, because if that ukulele that you have right now is working for you, then just stick to that for now. Because the upgrade is not gonna be that noticeable. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
And then J Stag asked if you can recommend strings.
I use AG Cross AQ strings. I also recommend if you don't strum too hard. I think Kaniho has started using Worth Clears. I also suggest using Diodario custom extrudeds, Diodario titaniums. I like Savarez red cards. Some of our friends like Living Water strings. Like that's really good. PhD strings are really good. I have experience with all of them. And Ukulogic, from the ukulele site, they're really great as well. So tons of choices. Any of those, you can't go wrong.
So if they should start off with maybe buying like 3 packs of strings, what 3 packs should they try?
AGAQ, Worth Clears, and maybe Ukulogic.
Right. Yeah. And also depends on if you're gonna go
high tension or low G or low G.
Yeah. And those are just good ones to start off with, but then there's a ton of brands and people always say like, I love this for this particular ukulele or just for my style of playing too. So.
If it is low G, then I recommend PhDs.
Because PhD low Gs have an unwound low G.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Good stuff.
It's not for everybody, but I really like them. So.
Okay. That's what's on your ukulele now, right, Sean?
Yeah. It's like
so they usually have like wound low Gs, but this one is unwound, which is.
And so there's not a very big difference between the low G and the rest of the strings, like in tonal quality.
They blend.
Yeah.
Nicely. Yep. Good stuff. So is that it, Kai?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. On Friday, we have Aloha Friday Live Jam. And thanks to all the people who tuned in, participated for the open mic that we did last Thursday. Everyone did a great job. If you guys want, I believe there's a replay of that. Or do we have a replay of that somewhere?
On our UU Plus forum.
On the UU Plus forum, you can find the replay for that. So if you missed it and you want to watch it, that's where you find. Let us know if you guys have any questions. If you want to take your ukulele playing to the next level, sign up for UU Plus over at ukuleleunderground.com. That's where we teach how to play the ukulele, learn a bunch of songs, learn some techniques, learn some solos, or take a private lesson. See you next time. Aloha.